What's going on, guys? Today I'm taking you through a whole workout, shoulders and arms, alright? We'll show you guys all the exercises. Super pumped for this. Thank you guys for all the support, all the love you guys are showing me. The comments really means the whole world to me. I just had my breakfast, cream of rice and scoops of protein. I don't like eating too much before training. Digest well, digest fast. I had a coffee and now time to go to the gym. So let's go, let's show you guys the workout. Thank you. I always start my workout with rear delt, helping warm up my shoulders before the press. And also it's a weakness for me, so I want to give it as much energy. So I always start with 4 to 5 sets of bent over, just like I'm doing it like this. It's okay if you're bending at the elbows. I really feel it well on my rear delts. Moving on, I love this exercise, standing dumbbell shoulder press. Guys, it's so much harder to do it standing. Alright, you don't have your back supported against the bench, and even though I'm going a lot lighter than what I would be doing on a seated bench, the sensation that I'm feeling on my shoulder is just amazing. So give it a try, standing dumbbell shoulder press, and look how I'm controlling it. I'm not going necessarily crazy. I'm not throwing the weight. Alright, I'm really trying to control the weight up and control the weight down. The heaviest I would go to would be 40s. Alright, but I would go for 12, 15 solid reps. Pause reps. Trust me, your shoulder would be firing up. A lot of people press without really feeling their shoulder well, so maybe lower the weight a bit and control it a little bit better. Moving on, we've got the classic standing lateral raises. I bend a little bit at my elbows, so I use less traps. I realized that when I bend a little bit, I got more lateral raise side delts engagement, and I would do 4 to 5 sets. I would use the 25 pounds, maybe the heaviest I would go to would be 30 pounds, and really controlling the way down again. It's not about swinging the weight up and down. It's okay for the last few reps, but you really want to control it on the way down. Next is single arm lateral raises, standing as well. I like doing them single arm, helps me put more focus and attention on each side. And again, I'm just going for 25, maybe 30 pounds, not too heavy, nothing crazy, but make sure that you stop at the bottom. All right, stop at the bottom and make sure you're kind of engaging your side delt before starting the exercise. Otherwise, all you'll feel it will be traps. And moving on to the left side. It's crazy how much difference there is between my right and left arm, but it is completely normal, guys. If you have a side stronger than the other, you want to actually do exercises just like that, where you're just doing one arm at a time, helps you bring up that weakness. All right, so again, I did 3 sets of that, 12 to 15 reps. I do not usually count reps, to be honest. Most of the time I'll just go to failure as much as I can with proper form. Looks good. I'm gonna do orange after, so my arms are gonna be even more pumped. Next, just to pump up my shoulders a little bit more, finishing the side and the rear delt, I sat down on a bench, grabbed 25 pounds and just did half reps. Just 2 sets, half reps, very high reps. Lateral raise superset with a little bit of rear delt. Next on the menu, we've got standing shoulder barbell press. So sometimes I would start with those after my rear delt. Sometimes I'll finish with those. That day I felt like finishing with those, and by that time I reached that exercise, my shoulders were already fried. But that's what's good, is when you're already tired and you're pushing yourself, it feels even better. I'm not satisfied. I want to put more weight. I want to beat him. Let's go. If you can recognize who I was imitating, write it down in the comments. The actor and the name of the movie. Little bit more standing shoulder press, and guys, to be real, I would go with the intention of doing 3 to 4 sets, but sometimes the pump just feels so good and I just feel good, then I would go for a little bit more. So I think I've done like 5 sets at that time, and you see I play with the rep range, I play with the range of motion. Now I'm doing like pause reps, really getting that good burn. And this is what bodybuilding is, you know, it's more of an intention, instinctive training, going with how you feel. So now I did a little bit more side raises. It wasn't even in my plan. I saw the cable and I'm like, well, I feel like I could go for a few more sets. I don't think bodybuilding is as much scientific as we wanted to believe. Yes, it is, but it's more how are you feeling? Are you feeling good? Well, maybe I can push for a few more sets. All right, go with how you feel. Listen to your body. Yes, it is hard at the beginning. It's good to follow a good plan, but then don't be afraid to add some things if you feel good, or to remove some things if you don't. All right, let's say for instance you're supposed to bench and then you don't feel that good. Well, maybe you can switch the bench press to a machine press that will help you get the same stimulation but without risking injury. So you got the point. I finished with a little bit of face pull. Again, wasn't necessarily part of the plan, but I wanted to do triceps. The cable was empty and I did a few sets of face pull. For face pull, sometimes I would switch the grip. Sometimes I feel it better with this grip, other times I'd feel it better with my thumb facing me. And now lastly, I'm finishing with arms. So guys, look at the difference between my left arm. Look at that triceps. It looks so small. It looks like an untrained arm, seriously. I would do 15 to 20 reps. I really love going high reps. This is one of my favorite triceps exercise. Triceps cable push down on the rope or with a barbell. Really, I keep it super simple. I stick with the basics when it comes with arms. So pause at the bottom. You see, pause and squeeze at the bottom. Trying to really pause and squeeze. Otherwise, my rear delt and front delt would just take over. And I supersetted that with cable curls, also with a little barbell. I did 15, 20 reps, really squeezing it at the top and controlling the weight down. Really not going heavy, all right? For arms, I don't go heavy because your arms get so much indirect work and they get the heavy work when you're doing your barbell rows, your pull-ups, your dumbbell rows, your bench press, your overhead press. So when I'm isolating arms, most of the time, all I'm doing is a good squeeze at the bottom, controlling the weight, really not going crazy heavy, and just feeling that muscle as much as possible. It's an isolation exercise. All right, when it comes to arms, it's just one joint moving. Don't overcomplicate stuff. All right, stick with what you feel best. You don't need to do a ton of exercise and a ton of angle and the inner biceps, outer biceps, long form, long short head of the triceps, or all that stuff. I don't necessarily buy into all that stuff. I stick with the exercises that feel good, and I progressively overload on them. So I finished with some hammer curls, single arm, cable for triceps, supersetted those. 3 sets of each, 15 to 20 reps, and that was pretty much it for arms. I want to add something. When it comes to arms, I really dislike machines. I've tried many preacher curl machine or triceps machine. It just never felt good. It felt like I was putting the tension on the wrong places, on my tendons, on my joints, on my elbows. So I prefer sticking with cables or free weights. And this also applies to all body parts. I'm not a big fan of machines. I prefer free weights by far.
That's the front, right?
Yep. These are one of my favorite exercises for triceps. Single arm cable, and I'm holding that little ball on the cable. You see there's no handle, and really going for a good squeeze and controlling the weight up. Try to come up with the triceps. Come up with the triceps. It's a very hard thing to do. A lot of people just focus on training explosive on the way down and they just let the weight come up. But try to control it. Even in this, I'm doing it wrong now that I'm looking back at it. You see my triceps is not fully engaged on the way up. So try controlling the way up, and trust me, it's going to be a game changer. Alright guys, workout done, went for a little walk, enjoyed the sun, had my post-workout protein shake with my banana bread. I made a video about my banana bread if you guys want to check it out. Super easy to make. I microwave it, it's eggs, banana, oatmeal. Had that with my protein shake, and that's pretty much it. Leave a like if you like that video. If you're not subscribed, please do so, and thank you all for the support. Let me know in the comments what muscle you want me to film next. See you soon. Ciao.